Welcome to the deep dive. Ever think about those huge industries,
Hmm.
the ones quietly making billions, but you never really hear about them?
Yeah, totally under the radar.
Exactly. Markets that are, shaping economies, but they just don't make the headlines. Well, today we're diving into one of those, a really unexpected one, the global Dodder Seeds market.
Dodder seeds, right. Cuscuta.
Yes, Cuscuta. For anyone wondering, they come from these parasitic plants, often used in traditional medicine, especially in Asia, known for certain health properties and
Yeah.
some niche agricultural stuff too. But the scale of this market,
Mm.
it's genuinely surprising.
And just so everyone knows, our information for this dive comes straight from official data. Cognitive market research provided it.
Right, so it's solid data we're working with here.
Absolutely. Gives us a good foundation for what we're about to unpack.
And our mission today isn't just to, throw numbers at you. It's to look at these pretty staggering growth projections for Dodder Seeds and figure out what they really tell us about the global market landscape.
Looking for those key insights.
Exactly. Those aha moments. Hopefully it'll change how you think about where value can pop up.
Okay, let's get into it.
Right. So the big picture first. The overall global growth, it's kind of astonishing. Get this. Back in 2021, sales revenue was over $6.3 billion.
6,363.14 million to be exact.
Yeah, 6,363.14 million. Then fast forward just to 2025, it's projected to hit $9,350.2 million.
9.35 billion. Okay.
But here's the real kicker. The projection for 2033. It surges to $20,189.2 million.
Wow. Over $20 billion.
20 billion. That's a compound annual growth rate, a CAGR of 10.1% over like a 12-year period.
That's really fascinating. I mean, the scale of growth for a market most people haven't even heard of.
Right.
A KGR over 10% for that long. That points to really robust, fundamental expansion. It's not just a blip.
It really shows that, major economic activity isn't always in tech or the stuff we see advertised constantly.
Exactly. This suggests deep growing demand, which naturally makes you ask.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, a multi-billion-dollar market set to more than triple. The big question for you listening has got to be, what are these seeds actually used for? What's driving this kind of, explosive demand?
Yeah, that's the key, isn't it? So the main driver, especially for that consistent long-term demand, it's really traditional medicine.
Okay.
They're particularly big in traditional Chinese medicine. They're thought to be good for liver and kidney health, things like that.
Right. PCM.
Precisely. And beyond that, there are some specific agricultural uses, too, where their sort of unique properties come into play.
Okay.
So the surge we're seeing, it seems to be mostly driven by, growing global interest in herbal remedies, research into natural health stuff, and just the general expansion of the whole nutraceutical and traditional medicine sector worldwide.
That makes sense. So now we got to get the why. Let's break this down by region, because that's where you start seeing some really interesting patterns where this growth is actually concentrated.
Absolutely. And when you look at the regional powerhouses, Asia-Pacific APAC, it really stands out. It's the current leader and a huge engine for growth.
Biggest market share.
Yeah. Back in 2021, it was the largest, over $2.1 billion, and it also has the highest regional CAGR, just a bit over 10.4%.
Okay, 10.425% to be precise.
Right, and its market value is projected to nearly triple. It's heading towards almost $7 billion by 2033. That's $6,924.9 million.
Wow. And within APAC, who are the big players?
Well, China is definitely leading the pack there. Under $1 billion in 2021, projected to hit nearly $2.9 billion by 2033.
2.88 billion, roughly.
Huge, massive segment, yeah. And India also shows really strong growth. It's set to basically quadruple its market value, reaching over $1.2 billion by 2033.
From about $373 million in 2021.
Exactly. Then you've got Japan, South Korea, and Southeast Asia as a whole, also significant. Each of those is expected to more than double its market size over the next decade or so. Taiwan and Australia are in there too, showing solid growth.
Okay, so APAC is clearly dominant. What about North America?
North America is a strong number 2, definitely a contender. It's the second largest market overall.
And a solid CAGR too, right? Around 10%.
Yeah, 10.003%, very consistent. The market values show it started just over $1.8 billion in 2021.
1,838.95 million.
Right, and projected to clear $5.7 billion by 2033. That's 5,713.55 million, so substantial expansion.
Okay, and if we drill down into North America, The U.S. is leading, I assume.
Predictably, yes. The U.S. goes from over $1.5 billion in 2021
$1,542.88 million.
to almost $4.75 billion by 2033, so $4,747.96 million projected. Canada is also a decent-sized market, going from about $219 million to nearly $640 million.
But hang on, here's something that really jumps out at me. Mexico.
Ah, yes.
Its growth rate. The highest regional CGR in North America, nearly 11.82%.
That's right, 11.82%. It goes from around $77 million in 2021 to a projected $325-ish million by 2033.
$325.672 million. That's explosive growth for Mexico specifically. Any thoughts on what might be driving that acceleration?
That is a great spot. The report doesn't give super granular reasons for each country, but usually growth, like Mexico suggests, maybe a few things happening at once.
Like what?
Could be rising domestic demand, more awareness of traditional remedies maybe, or perhaps new agricultural or industrial uses finding a foothold there.
Or supply chain shifting.
Or even supply chain dynamics, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Positioning Mexico differently in the market. It's definitely one to keep an eye on.
Interesting. Okay, let's hop across the Atlantic to Europe.
Right, Europe. Here we see, steady expansion overall, but with some really notable pockets of high growth.
Yep.
The total European market was worth almost $1.7 billion in 2021.
$1,679.87 million.
Projected to go past $5 billion by 2033, so $5,188.63 million. The overall CAGR there is just under 10%, 9.888%.
And the top performers in Europe, Germany looks big.
Germany's a major one, yeah. Nearly $384 million in 2021, heading for over $1.1 billion by 2033.
$1,144.09 million, okay.
Then you have the UK, France, Italy, Russia, Spain, all showing robust growth as well. Basically, they're all projected to roughly triple their market size.
UK going from $255 million to $762 million. France, $190 million to $570 million. Italy, Russia, Spain, all showing similar trajectories. But hang on, there's another one of those interesting bits. Rest of Europe.
Ah, yes, the rest of Europe category.
That segment actually has the highest regional CGR in Europe. Over 11.8%.
11.844%. Yes, it's quite striking.
It goes from about $248 million in 2021 to over $1 billion by 2033. $1,024.75 million. Let's go on there. That covers a lot of different countries.
It's very compelling, isn't it? It suggests that, beyond the big established economies like Germany or France, there's significant new demand or market penetration happening.
In smaller countries like who's included there? Sweden, Denmark.
Yeah, places like Sweden, Denmark, Switzerland, Luxembourg are mentioned with figures, but it's a broader category. It could be, several things. Maybe wider adoption of traditional medicine where it wasn't common before.
Or new distribution channels.
Or new distribution opening up, exactly. Or maybe even specific R&D focused on Dodder Seeds happening in some of those areas. It just highlights how growth centers can emerge even within, mature regions.
Fascinating. Okay, let's look at the Middle East now. Another high-growth region, right? Impressive CGR there, too?
Absolutely. Just under 11% CGR. 10.9992%.
And the numbers?
Started at about $270 million in 2021.
$270.434 million.
Expected to almost quadruple, hitting nearly $970 million by 2033, $969.082 million.
Wow. And the key countries there, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, UAE, look like they're leading.
That's right. Saudi Arabia, Turkey, the UAE, each projected to roughly quadruple their market value, too. Egypt and Qatar are also showing strong growth, so it seems pretty widespread across the region.
Okay, that leaves South America and Africa. Emerging market.
Exactly. Smaller in absolute dollar terms right now, but definitely emerging. Clear growth trajectories. South America's market is set to nearly triple from 2021 to 2033.
Going from $273 million to about $747 million.
Yeah, $747.001 million with a CAGR around 9%. And Brazil is the biggest player there, going from $120 million to over $330 million. Argentina, Colombia, Peru, Chile are also contributing.
And Africa. Similar story.
Similar pattern, yeah. Market set to more than triple in size. CAGR just over 9%, 9.269%.
From $194 million to $646 million by 2033.
Correct. South Africa is the largest contributor there, projected to more than triple its market. And Nigeria also shows significant expansion, actually more than quadrupling its value by 2033, from around $30 million to over $100 million.
Okay, wow. So we've gone around the world. Let's try and tie this all together.
Right. So if we connect these dots, look at the big picture again. It's really clear that while the entire global market for Dodder seeds is seeing this huge sustained growth.
That 10.1% CAGR overall.
Exactly. It's not happening evenly everywhere.
Wow.
Some regions, like APAC in the Middle East, and some specific countries like Mexico or that rest of Europe bloc, are really outpacing the average.
Which highlights these dynamic shifts, right?
Yeah.
In demand and the market is developing.
So
So what does all this mean for you listening to this?
Well, I think the big takeaway is that, significant value and really explosive growth can hide in some truly unexpected corners of the economy.
Definitely.
I mean, who honestly knew Dodder seeds, mostly tied to traditional medicine, would be a multi-billion-dollar market, let alone one projected to blast past $20 billion in just over a decade?
That's a powerful reminder.
It really underscores how the global economy is always shifting, always evolving. New power centers, surprising drivers popping up way beneath the headlines. It shows why, being truly informed means you've got to look deeper sometimes.
And maybe this raises a question for you to think about.
Mm-hmm.
What part of this surprises you the most now that you know a bit more?
Yeah.
Is it just the sheer size of the market itself?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe the speed of growth in places like Asia-Pacific or the Middle East? Or is it those quieter, explosive growth stories in, say, Mexico or parts of Europe?
Right. Does understanding these kinds of dynamics maybe change your perspective on where economic power might be quietly shifting? It's definitely food for thought. What other markets like this, seemingly niche or obscure, might be undergoing similar transformations, totally unobserved?
That's the question to leave you with. Keep that curiosity going. Keep exploring. Keep digging for those surprising insights. That's all for this deep dive.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're plunging into a topic that might just make you scratch your head a bit and then hopefully go, oh, that's actually fascinating. It's a fire. It's something, well, pretty niche right now, but it's quietly, rapidly growing. And it offers some genuinely surprising insights into where, ancient wisdom and modern wellness are actually meeting. We're talking about the fast-growing Dodder Seeds market. Maybe you know it by its scientific name, Cuscuta spp. That SPP just means species. Basically, there are several kinds. Anyway, it's a bit of a rising star within the herbal and nutraceutical world. And our mission, really, for this deep dive is to unpack what's really pushing its growth, maybe what's holding it back a bit, and where it seems to be headed next. All the insights we're sharing today, they come from exclusive data and analysis by cognitive market research. So think of this as your shortcut to being genuinely well-informed, hopefully with some aha moments and clear explanations without getting totally swamped. Okay, so let's unpack this then. What exactly is fueling the demand for these Dodder seeds right now? Well, one of the biggest forces, maybe unsurprisingly, is its increasing use in traditional and herbal medicine. I mean, these seeds have a pretty prominent place in, say, Chinese, Ayurvedic, and Unani healing practices. Now, Unani, that's a really fascinating traditional system, mostly practiced in South Asia, draws a lot from ancient Greek ideas. Traditionally, these seeds, they're used for things related to the liver, kidneys, the reproductive system too. And that really taps into that climbing global interest in natural, plant-based remedies. And it's not just about tradition, right? We're also seeing a heightened integration of Dodder seeds into modern nutraceutical products. These tiny seeds are apparently packed with some powerful stuff. Antioxidants, anti-inflammatory compounds, adaptogens, even those amazing natural things that help your body handle stress and find balance. So yeah, they're finding their way into all sorts of dietary supplements, functional foods, think energy boosters, liver support capsules, maybe even ingredients in workout mixes. It seems like a direct result of this booming nutraceutical industry, which is always looking for versatile natural ingredients that offer, multiple benefits.
And what's really fascinating there, I think, is how that ancient knowledge isn't just meeting the demands of contemporary wellness. Sometimes it feels like it's providing the missing pieces, especially in a really critical area like reproductive health, where, let's be honest, modern solutions sometimes fall short for a lot of people.
You're absolutely right. That intersection of old wisdom and modern health needs, it's a powerful driver. And speaking of powerful forces, that brings us neatly to another key driver. This rising demand for natural fertility enhancers. I mean, with global infertility rates, unfortunately, creeping up, and a definite growing preference for botanical options over synthetic ones, Dodder seeds are increasingly being looked at as a plant-based supplement. They're believed to help support hormonal balance, reproductive wellness, for both men and women, actually. Kind of becoming a go-to for people seeking a gentler, more natural path.
Mm-hmm. A natural alternative.
Exactly. And finally, driver number 4, it's sort of riding the wave of the wider organic and botanical health market surge. Makes sense. You see Dodder seeds being infused into herbal teas, maybe detox blends, liver cleanse formulas, particularly by brands that are really promoting that clean plant-powered living idea. Natural, chemical-free wellness. It's definitely earned its spot in that sort of mainstream botanical toolbox for consumers looking for clean stuff.
Okay.
So, okay, that's what's pushing Dodder forward. Lots of positive momentum there. But, for every step forward, there's often a challenge pulling back. Let's pivot now to the hurdles. What are some of the biggest restraints facing this Dodder seeds market?
Well, the first major hurdle, and it's a pretty big one, is the lack of standardized scientific validation. While the traditional benefits, they're really well documented through centuries of use, actual peer-reviewed clinical research, the kind that Western medicine really demands, it's still, well, pretty sparse.
Right. It's not just about a few missing studies. No, exactly. It's almost a fundamental clash, isn't it, between that traditional wisdom and the modern scientific method. And without those really rigorous trials, it's incredibly difficult for the mainstream medical and pharmaceutical industries to, endorse Dodder globally, which in turn slows down new product development and definitely limits consumer trust, at least in some markets. Then you run into this maze, really, of regulatory complexities. Dodder seeds, they get classified differently all over the world. Sometimes it's a food, sometimes a dietary supplement, sometimes even a medicine, depending on the country.
Which must be a nightmare for producers.
Oh, totally. It creates this compliance nightmare if you're trying to sell internationally. We're talking about navigating frameworks like, FDA approvals in the U.S. or ESSA guidelines, that's the European Food Safety Authority over in Europe. And dealing with that stuff, it can significantly delay product launches. It can really stifle innovation.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture for a second, these hurdles, they really highlight the complex balancing act you need when you're trying to bring these, deeply traditional botanicals into global regulated markets. It kind of raises the question, doesn't it? Can these ancient remedies truly thrive when they're held to modern, often very Western-centric scientific and regulatory standards?
That's a really profound point, and it is a huge challenge. Then on the production side itself, you've also got significant supply chain limitations and seasonal harvesting issues. Because Dodder is, well, literally a parasitic plant. It needs host crops to grow. It sort of twines around them like a botanical vampire almost.
Yeah, that's one way to put it.
Well, leads to irregular harvesting cycles, right? And wild price swings, which makes it incredibly hard to guarantee a consistent, large-scale supply for the market.
It's not just logistics then, it's a biological puzzle for the producers.
Exactly. And finally, another restraint is just low consumer awareness outside of Asia and the Middle East. That's still a big factor. In Western countries, let's face it, Dodder seeds are still relatively unknown for most people. So brands face this massive challenge just introducing Dodder seeds. It's not just selling a product, it's educating an entire new market, pretty much from scratch.
Which is a significant uphill battle if you're aiming for global expansion. Definitely.
No doubt. So, okay, given these challenges and the opportunities we talked about earlier, what does this all mean for the future? On the brighter side, maybe. What key trends are starting to reshape things for Dodder seeds, maybe expand its potential? Well, one major shift we're seeing is the move toward extract-based formulations. So instead of just the raw seeds, companies are creating standardized powders, liquid extracts, that kind of thing.
Makes sense. Easier to handle.
Much easier to dose accurately, yeah. And easier to integrate into modern supplement forms, capsules, tablets, even those drink mixes. That significantly enhances usability and, maybe crucially, consumer trust. It feels a bit more professionalized, maybe.
A step in that direction, certainly.
Another exciting trend seems to be Dodder's integration into male wellness and testosterone support products.
Sure.
It's sort of quietly gaining traction as a natural virility enhancer. You often see it paired with other, maybe better-known ingredients like ashwagandha or tonkanali.
Synergy.
Right, to support things like libido, stamina, overall hormonal balance. This specific niche, it seems to be proving quite fertile ground for Dodder's growth.
Which raises an important question, I think. How will these innovations, these expanded applications, how will they help overcome some of the market's current limitations, especially around that crucial scientific validation piece and the broader issue of just getting people to know what it is? It seems like maybe a strategic way to build confidence over time.
Absolutely. I think it's a smart strategy. And related to that, the whole clean label and vegan supplement revolution, it's sweeping up Dodder seeds too. As consumers increasingly demand allergen-free, plant-based, ethically sourced supplements, well, Dodder fits right in. You see it being included in gluten-free, non-GMO, cruelty-free product lines. It just aligns perfectly with those broader wellness lifestyle movements.
Ticking all the right boxes for that market segment.
Exactly. Opening up huge new potential customer bases. And perhaps most promising, maybe looking further out, is the ongoing research into its anti-aging and neuroprotective properties. Some early studies, still early days, mind you, but they're suggesting Dodder Seeds might offer benefits for brain health, maybe stress relief, even longevity.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. This could dramatically expand its role, opening doors for its use in things like memory support supplements, cognitive function boosters, anti-aging formulas. That would be a real game changer for its market potential, taking it way beyond just the traditional uses. So we've covered quite a journey today, haven't we? From Dodder Seeds' ancient roots, those powerful traditional uses, through the current challenges like scientific validation and those tricky supply chains, right up to this promising future with more sophisticated extract formulations and some really exciting emerging research.
Yeah, and understanding these market dynamics, it gives you a truly unique perspective on this whole evolving world of natural health, doesn't it? It really shows how these age-old remedies aren't just surviving, but they're actually finding new relevance and even new scientific interest in our modern, very data-driven world.
It really does. And thinking about that, considering how Dodder Seeds really just now starting to gain wider attention for these potential anti-aging and neuroprotective properties, it makes you wonder what other traditional botanicals might be poised for a similar kind of journey, from being a niche remedy to getting mainstream scientific validation and becoming a global health solution. Definitely something to ponder.